Hello everyone and welcome to my stream. Today I'm going to continue working on my VS Code extension, which I have been preparing for the last few weeks. And yeah, it's almost done, I should say. There are some small things I need to adjust, but besides that, it is looking quite good. I'm happy about the progress I've made so far, and I'm looking forward to finalizing it and pushing it to the marketplace so people can try it. Yeah. Once again, it's I'm working on this code extension which embeds a CSS Flexbox cheat sheet inside the browser, inside the editor. So when you have a CSS file and you come across a display flex property, you can hover over it and you will see this command open Flexbox cheat sheet and also an image which will show you how that specific Flexbox property works. And then if you click on the open Flexbox cheat sheet command, you will see the full cheat sheet on the site, and you will be able to see how each property works and what will be the effect of it if you apply it to your code. Yeah, and currently I'm working on adding interactive demos to most of these groups of properties. So when someone opens the cheat sheet, they can also interact with the examples, and they can also see how the properties work. And over the past few weeks, I've been adding some interactive examples or playgrounds to different properties. Let's run it and see how it currently looks. Yep, and I can press Ctrl-Shift-P to open the command dialog in VS Code and type CSS. Okay, CSS, where is it? Flexbox, yeah, Flexbox cheat sheet. Here it is. I can close this window. So I've been adding these small interactive demos for people to try out. And yeah, this one is related to how flex direction works. We can click on the buttons. Then flex wrap, we can also see how that affects the elements, justify content, and so on. Last time I added interactive demo for align content and flex wrap, if I remember. And today I would like to add one example to one demo to align self. Yeah, or at least try adding one. Let's see how that will work. Maybe to flex scroll as well. Otherwise, the properties here are pretty much covered, and I don't think there is need to add more examples. And besides that, I am also trying to not spend too much time on perfecting this stuff. I would like to push them out so the users can try them and get some feedback to hear whether this works or not, and will improve afterwards. So I think this one is quite nice baseline, and I can always add to it if I get some feedback. So let's get started. Yeah. So the first thing is to figure out how to add a interactive demo to align self properties. For that purpose, I'm going to copy one of the existing ones, and we'll move here down where align self is, and right, where was it? So inside a group, I have a title and then a row for each row, and after the last one I have this section here, which is the interactive playground. Yeah, so that's this part, which will be this one here. Yes, I'm gonna add some white space between each row so they are easier to have an overview. Yes, and each group, it also has a title. In this case, the title here is align self. Yeah, and let's see. So I have this section which is called interactive playground, and last time I added some utility classes to help me set height to it and width. If I open the cheat sheet, I can see that here in align self, what I need to change is what I need to do is apply this property to a flex item instead of applying it to all of them, where that was the case in this section, which dealt with the flex container. So here I have flex item, and let's see how I can make that. Yes, I don't need the extension running. I have, here's the code. I can make this one smaller, and let's see. So I have the I need to copy some classes here because that is what I use in JavaScript to apply the class to the Flexbox container, and afterwards I have the same class in CSS, which will then make the property move depending on which property we're trying. So align self, that instead of align content, I have align self, and the first one is auto. Align self auto, then I have the flex start. Flex start, then it's the center, flex end, then I have the space, or rather baseline, and the last one is the stretch. So let's see, I have these buttons, and each button has a data.js class with some value. So when I click that button, this value will be picked in JavaScript in this file, and so that's this part here, selected button or the clicked button, dataset, the JS class attribute, and then we get the value of this JS class. Then we find the Flexbox container, we remove any classes by assigning the Flexbox container class to the element, and then we add the class we would like to apply again on the Flexbox container. And this one will actually not work for flex items because we need to apply this data.js class value to a single flex item and not to the whole container. So I have to modify this a bit. So maybe what I can do is check where is the click coming from. So if it is a click coming from the section related to flex items, then we will apply it to one element on the apply to one element. Otherwise, if it is coming from flex container, then we apply it to the container. That way I can almost reuse this part here. Otherwise, I can also make a new function. So this one will handle clicks related to flex container, and I will also have one for handling clicks to the flex items. That might be a good solution as well. Yeah, well, it's so the interactive playground, that can be interactive playground. That's only one place, and that's the other place where we use these utility classes to set some height and width. Let's see. So if I change this one to interactive playground container, or flex container, this is rather interesting. So interactive playground class, how can I fix it? Let's go with adding one more class, and that will be flex container, or rather is flex container, and then we will target interactive playground is flex container here, and in JavaScript, and that will be this one will hold all interactive playgrounds related to flex containers. Yeah, interactive playgrounds, or it will be called flex container playgrounds. Yeah, and then we will make a copy of this, and it will be flex item playgrounds, and this one will be is flex item. Flex container, we have no. So actually we'll get rid of the is, and it will be just interactive playground flex container and interactive playground flex item. Yes, and then I will need to make another function. So this one will be handle that will be handle flex container, handle flex container click. Yeah, it's not the best name, but I will change that in a minute, just to see how it folds out, and I will have flex item click, flex container playground, flex container playground. Yeah, I think that's fine. Handle flex container playground click, and handle flex item playground click. Or flex, yeah, flex container playground. Or we can even make it more. Yeah, okay, let's leave it like this. So that will be flex container playground, and flex container playground, and also another one for flex item playground. Yeah, and in this case, when I click the one of the buttons within the interactive playground flex item, that will be this one actually, so we should get rid of the flex container. That should go in one of the others. This one, this one, this one, and flex container, flex container, flex container. Exactly. And now I have a way to target playground which is related to, or a demo, interactive demo related to a flex item. Let's see. Then, yeah, if we haven't clicked on the button, we just return from this function. Otherwise, we get the current target. That will be the playground container div. It will be this element here. Then we find all buttons within that element. That will be these 5, 6 buttons. Then we'll remove the selected class from them. Right now I have the selected one. The selected class applied to the property which is the default one for each Flexbox property. Afterwards, we'll get the event target, which is the exact button which was clicked, and we will add a selected class to it so we can highlight it. afterwards we get the JS class value from that for that button, and instead of finding the Flexbox container, we should find the, let's say, the second element inside the Flexbox container, and we'll call this second flex item or second element, and that will be the Flexbox container. And afterwards let's say end child, that will be 2. Let's try it. So we have the second element for that playground. So the end child will be this one here, and we need to get all elements and then clear any classes applied to them. Or actually, since we're applying this, since we're using the second element always, we will just override the class which we would like to apply. Yeah, so let's see. The second element, we clear the classes, or we delete any classes, and afterwards we apply whatever value we want to apply to that second element, which comes from this data.js class attribute. Yeah, let's try it and see if that works. So I'm going to close this one and run the extension. There's some errors. Yeah, I saw that last time as well. I can. Oh, okay. I have someone on the chat as well. Yeah, hello, Shando16. Yeah, it is. Right now, I'm trying to update my VS Code extension, and I'm working on adding interactive playgrounds. So I just run the extension, and if you're still around, I can show you how it looks. So this window here is is the extension running in VS Code, and yeah, you can see right now I've added a few interactive examples related to each Flexbox property. So when you download it or someone else downloads the extension, they should be able to interact with these properties. Yeah, that was my idea for adding something new to the extension. I had some other ideas as well, but I think this one will be useful. And right now I'm trying to add a kind of a demo to the align self section, or the align self property, and I'm trying to figure out if what I just did works. So I'm going to open DevTools, Luckily, VS Code uses Chrome to render this page, and Chrome DevTools are also available for debugging. And let's see what happens if I click these buttons. So what I expect to see here is some classes applied to this Flexbox container and specifically to the second element. It is okay, so the selected class is actually applied to the right button, but then this one fails. Class name of null. Okay, there are some class name of null, so this one doesn't exist. Let's see. Event target. Yes. Can I use this one? Oh no, it's here. The selected button, and then this should get yes, so that's fine. The JS data.js value from the button. Then here I'm trying to get the second child inside this flex container. Probably that's where it fails. It can't find anything. So I'm curious to see what happens here if I interactive playground, if I try to document, if I try to make the same selector Flexbox container, but container, and it also has a flex item class on it. So yeah, it cannot find that one. And that is interactive playground flex item. Oh, actually, yeah, that's the interactive playground flex item and not the container. Yeah, so it finds that element, which is nice, and then inside of it we'll need to target. I'm trying to find the Flexbox container end child 2. Let's see what that will give me. And that gives me nothing, and that's probably because of this selector. Okay, I need to check this end child CSS. End child selector. Let's see the MDN. That's probably okay. So the end child matches elements based on their position in a group of siblings. Oh, so it's going to select the second li. In my case, that will be the diff. So I will have a diff and child 2. Yeah, and that will be the 2. Yes, that should. And let's run this one. Yeah, exactly. So I will need to have, I'm gonna use this selector here instead. Yep. So now I have the second element. I clear any classes applied to it, and then I add the class I would like to see. Let's run it again. Yep, it's here. Open Flexbox and scroll to the bottom. I will probably need the devtools as well. And let's target this one. Okay, yeah, now I can see that the right class is applied actually. So that's quite exciting. I'll just need to get rid of these 3 elements on the second row and make sure that I only have 1 row of elements. I can do that. That's so instead of they should not have a width, and the flex wrap I don't need that. The container, Flexbox container, should still have a height, so I can see the elements moving up and down. And I will need to get rid of these last 3, or the last 3. And afterwards in the CSS, I'm gonna need to add. I'm gonna add some classes here, so that will be aligned. Self flex start, and I'll need to repeat this one a few times. So the first one will be auto, and the flex start. Then we have the center. Then we have the flex end and baseline and stretch. So that's one more copy. Flex baseline and stretch. What is it? Stretch is not supported in H earlier than 79. That's fine, and the baseline as well. Okay, so also on Safari and iOS Safari. That's and by the way, this one is an extension that I'm using. It's called WebHint. It is this one here. It will WebHint. It will basically scan your HTML and CSS files, and it will report problems. Either there are some properties are not supported in some browsers, or if an HTML element is missing some properties, like if an image misses an alt attribute, which is important for accessibility, or a button. Actually, I'm not sure if the button is reported if it doesn't have type button. Let's see. Oh, but this one is not really an HTML element, or actually HTML file. Let's create new one and copy one button to it. No, actually the button is not applied. It's not reported. that's fine. Yeah, so I've added the necessary classes to in the CSS, and whenever this is applied to the second element, like this value, flex align cell flex start is applied to this element, then we are going to also target that class with by applying the same value. So that should actually work. Open the Flexbox cheat sheet. Then yeah. Whoa, that's actually quite nice. What I can do to improve this one is actually to get rid of, make these elements here, like all flex items, make them where is it? Yeah, applying this align items property on them to have them as a flex start. Otherwise, the default is flex stretch. That's why we also see them stretched here, and taking the whole width of the parent element. So let's add that one as well. It will be this interactive playground, and if it is of type flex items, the Flexbox container, we know that it is a Flexbox container, so we're going to align items flex start, apply flex start to them, to all items, and if I refresh, debug, check this extension as well. Yeah, well, that looks fantastic. Now the elements are aligned to the start, and I can interact with the second one by changing its position, changing its it is the position of it. There is actually no difference between auto and start. That is probably because by default they start from the top. If they were aligned to the bottom, so this one should move to the top when flex start is applied to it. Yeah, and there is actually not that big of a difference between flex start and baseline, at least in this demo here. So if someone needs to see what exactly is the difference between these, then the Mozilla developer docs are actually a good place to read. that is, so the baseline or the auto first computes to the parent's align items value. Okay, so if the parent has a so if the parent has align items set to something, auto will use that value. That's good to know. Yeah, we can also try it. Was it align items? Yeah, so if this one was center, they should start from the center when we have when we open the extension. Yeah, and then we can move. Then we can interact with it. Well, yeah, it looks quite nice. I'm happy about this progress and adding this playground section to align self. If I can make it work with Flex Grow, then that will be quite nice as well. I will leave that for the next time though, because I'm running out of time right now. It's been almost 50 minutes and I usually try to keep these streams at around 45-50 minutes. But nevertheless, I'm quite happy with the progress I made during today's stream. And yeah, adding just one more playground to the Flex Scroll will probably be enough for me to launch the extension or release this update and then hear what people think about it before adding more to it. Yeah. Well, thank you for today's stream. I hope you learned something new, and you're also looking forward to trying this extension. You can actually try it right now as well. If you go to the marketplace, so marketplace visualstudio.com and search for CSS Flexbox cheat sheet. Yeah, it is this one. And then you can either install it here, which will open VS Code, or you can go directly to VS Code in the extensions panel and search for that extension. And then, yeah, I have it installed, but you will have an install button here if you haven't installed it before. Yeah, well, that was it for today. See you next Thursday, and take care. Bye.